All right, gang. Syllabus for STAT1150, spring 2017. Let's just go over some things. For obvious reasons, an online course, it's much, well, it's very important that we understand, well, not we, I understand because I've taught this class quite a bit online, but that you understand the way that the class is going to be handled. One of the first things you need to do in the first couple of weeks is decide whether or not this format is for you. And I'll tell you right now, it's not for everyone. In fact, I don't even yet know the characteristics and the profile of the student this works for, because it's not necessarily the student with a 28 ACT. It has more to do with, are you structured? Can you stay on pace? Are you a kind of a self-starter, self-motivated? It has more to do with that than I think it does, being good at math, as a lot of people like to say. So those are just things I'm going to try to point out as I go through the syllabus with you. First of all, my name's Doug Darbro. I'm okay with being called Doug. Dr. Darbro's fine. I hate being called Mr. Darbro, so I don't know why, but I just do. I feel like that's my dad. Office hours listed there, Monday 3 to 4, Tuesdays noon to 2. This one's super important, I think, because your assignments are due every Tuesday at 11 p.m. So I wanted to be accessible and available on Tuesdays, so you can come see me if you need help on your assignments. I'm also available on Wednesdays from 2 to 3. 2 to 3, the Wednesday session, let's say you wait until 9 or 10 o'clock, and some of you will, or 11 o'clock to work on your assignment, and you're working through the assignment and you find out there's some things that you don't know how to do. This Wednesday session will be great to come in and see me while that content is still on fresh in your mind. Contact, there's my phone, here's my email address. There's been some confusion about my office over the past couple of years. So because of that, I included a little map here. So guys, if you come in this front door, this front right door in Massey, and walk down the hallway, there's a door from the outside that you maybe haven't even noticed. But if you will come in that door and walk straight across the hallway, you'll see a door to the math offices. So you can get to it one of two ways. You can come through this, well, you can get to it multiple ways, actually. So the easiest way is if you come through this small door here, which you probably haven't even noticed before, just walk straight across the hallway. There's a door. It says the math department. It's got my name on it. I'm easy to find. But if you come in from Massey Hall, walk down the hallway until you see this door to your right. Look to your left, and you see the doors to the math department. So, inevitably, I'll get emails from. Let me see if I can make this a little bit clearer. I'll get emails from students that, hey, Dr. Darbo, I tried to come see you, but I couldn't find your office. I tell you, we're hard to find, so that's the reason for the map. Catalog description, GEP requirements, whatever. Read that. It's important, but you're just taking the course, so you probably don't know what this stuff means. But this is just telling you what's included in the class. General education requirement. The good news is when you complete this class successfully, you can check off the quantitative reasoning component requirement from the GEP. Second page, ADA statement. Now, let me get out of this. I want to show you something that I should have showed you earlier. If you go to Blackboard and go to our STAT1150 spring course, and go to content, you will see 2 weeks. Okay, and I'll explain this other in just a second. But if you go to week 0, getting started, by the time you see this, there will be video number 1, the one I'm currently creating. But if you want to play along and have a copy of the syllabus that I'm showing you and going over, just click this, go to the library, print it out, if you like to keep a notebook and keep organized, which is a really really good idea actually. Okay, but anyway, so if you want a copy of this, just go there and do that and print it out. ADA statement, gang, if any of this applies to you, let me know. If you get extended testing time or you need a quiet environment or whatever it may be, guys, I will do everything in my power to make sure that these accommodations, which are provided to you by law, will be given to you. Computer access, I kind of I kind of refer to this as kind of the duh policy. It's an online class, guys, so you got to have a computer. You got to have access to a reliable computer, and you also need reliable internet service. There's a chance that if your internet service goes down, then you'll have to come to campus and go to the library and watch the videos and submit your assignments. But that's going to vary from person to person. It's my understanding that our internet connection isn't so great in the dorms. That's something you got to think about. So, guys, you got to have regular access to the internet and have a reliable computer to take an online course. That should be pretty obvious. Technology. Guys, a Texas Instrument TI-83 or 84 is required. I mean, don't go out and spend $160 on this. There's so many other ways to buy Texas Instrument calculators. Sometimes you can buy these on eBay. I know there's a site on my SSU that sells used stuff where students can go and sell used things. I've seen TI-83 and 84 calculators on there. Staples.com about this time of the year, but before the beginning of the fall and spring semesters, seems to always run a special. Borrow one from your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your dog, your cat, whatever it may be. So, guys, don't go out and spend $160. There are a lot better and more creative ways to save you money than to pay full price for these things. A statistical software package that we use is called R. Now, there is first of all, R is required, and you have 4 R assignments in addition to other assignments that are due throughout the semester. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. But if you go back to our online course, if you go back to Blackboard, I have a video here that if you click it, it will take you directly to YouTube. And what this will ultimately get into, well, let me back up here. What this will ultimately get into is it'll get into R. That's really annoying to have two Doug Darbros speaking. Well, anyway, I'll go through the entire installation process, and you can watch that and get R installed, okay? Because you're going to need it. Statistics, a lot of times students will say, well, God, this 83, 84 calculator is hard to learn, and R is kind of hard to learn. Trust me on this. Learning statistics without technology is much, much, much harder than learning to do statistics with technology. So even though the calculator can be confusing from time to time, R can be confusing from time to time, it's much, much, much easier than learning statistics where it's just formula driven. That's when things get kind of crazy. A lot of question about the textbook. Guys, there is not a physical textbook that is required. I have no idea what that was. There is not a physical textbook that is required for this class. The textbook is available on www.mymathlab.com. The textbook is Essential Statistics, Exploring the World Through Data, 2nd edition. And all your assignments will be posted on MyMathLab. So you don't walk around with a physical textbook on taking an online course. Everything is online. Again, your textbook, Your assignments, your exams will be taken online. They're taken in a proctored environment. You have to come to campus for it. But the exams are taken online through the site. When you go to sign up for this, and I'll show you something in just a second that'll make it much clearer. You're going to need a course ID. Our course ID for this class is Darbro 54846. Now, let me tell you what you need to do to get signed up with my math lab. And guys, my math lab is required. If you just can't afford my math lab, you need to drop the class, and you need to take it another semester when you can't afford to take it. Again, this is an online class, guys. We don't meet weekly. I can't give you assignments, pencil and paper. We have to have an online course management system. Okay, a couple of things. First of all, my math lab instructions. This is accessible or available to you under Getting Started. It goes through a step-by-step instructions of how to get my math lab. I've also installed in video number 3 how to get a temporary access code. You can get a temporary access code for 14 days. So if you're waiting on financial aid, or if you maybe just want to feel this whole online course out and see if it's for you, and you don't want to go ahead and commit to my math lab because there are other professors at Shawnee State who are teaching statistics face-to-face in the class room who don't use my math lab. So you don't want to pay for this until you're sure that you're going to stick with this format. I think this format's better. I really do. I've taught the face-to-face section of Math 1500, what it used to be. We now call it STAT1150. I've taught it over 100 times. And I've taught it probably, I don't know, I will say 6, 7, 8 times online. I think it's better online because of the flexibility and the fact that you can watch videos over and over if you need to. But you know, it takes some discipline to make this work. So right here, if you're interested in getting a temporary access code, click this. It'll take you to YouTube. And I will go through the steps to get, I'll go through the steps to not only get a temporary access code, but to register for the course. All right, let's go back to this. So the temporary access code, again, just go to the video and I explain every bit of how to do that. All right, dates for midterms. Hold on, tutors. Guys, you're going to have a supplemental instructor for this class. There'll be more about that sent out via email. It's critical that you have an email account, and I have on file the email account that you check regularly. You need to start checking your email account every day when taking an online course. So anyway, there'll be more about tutors and supplemental instruction and stuff like that a little bit later. Midterm and final exams. Some students think because it's an online course, they take their exams online. You know, they can sit at home and take them. When we were getting this course approved for, let me change this a little bit. When we were getting this course approved for an online delivery, the distance learning committee would only approve it if we have the midterm and final exams given face-to-face. So guys, this is something that is required by the university in the online approval process, is that we give our exams face-to-face. So, and I think it's better anyway. I don't think I'd really want to teach the class where there wasn't at least some face-to-face time. Requirements, this is probably more expectations, what you need to do to be successful in this class. Guys, you're going to be required to watch 2 to 3 hours of videos per week. These are actually your lectures. So, and really they're exactly what I would teach if I was teaching the face-to-face class. Same corny jokes, the same goofy stories. are embedded in these lectures or these videos, whether I'm teaching it face-to-face or recording it and sharing them with you this way. Guys, you got to submit your assignments on time. You'll have assignments every single week. Every week, Tuesdays at 11 p.m., you will have an assignment due. So I'll talk more about that in just a second. Guys, you must check your email daily, and you must provide to me the email account that you check most regularly. And you must attend both on-campus sessions for the midterm and final exams. Class policies, guys, when you come to class for your testing, cell phones need to be turned off. If you miss an exam, documentation will be required. And if you need to take your midterm or final exam off campus, then you're required to take it in a proctored environment. This is rare, very rare, but a couple of summers ago, I had a student who was home for the summer. She was in California, and she wanted to take my class online. So what she had to do, she had to go to one of the community colleges that had a testing center, and I think they charged her about $150 to proctor her exam. But $150 for the midterm and $150 for the finals, $300. It's a lot cheaper than flying back to Shawnee State. So this is just in rare situations where you live or residing a long way from campus. The best way to do it is just come to campus for the 2 sessions. How you calculate your final grade. Midterm exam, March 1st, is 35%. Your final exam will be on May 3rd. These are both Wednesdays, 35%. And 30%, the remaining, is your online assignments and your 4R assignments. Okay, so all this stuff together, your 4R assignments, and you'll have about 13 or 14 online My Math Lab assignments contribute to 30% of your final grade. Now, one little caveat I put in here is if your final exam score is higher than your midterm, not the reverse. If your midterm's higher than your final, you're stuck with both of these. But if your final exam is higher than your midterm, I will replace your midterm with your final exam. Let me give you an example. I had a student about 4 or 5 years ago, and she came to class every day. But I remember she got a 28 on the midterm. And she came to me and she's like, Dr. Darbro, I am not a 28 student. I don't know what I did wrong. What can I do to get this turned around? So we talked about some things, gave her kind of a different approach to the class. She got a 92 on the final. She got to replace this 28 with a 92. 92 and 92 averages a lot better than a 28 and a 92. Now, what if you get a 92 on the final and a 28, what if you get a 92 on the midterm and a 28 on the final? Well, you're stuck with your 28. It only works if the final exam is higher than the midterm. And my rationale for doing that is maybe you didn't get it the first time through, get the material. But if you get it in the end, I think that's most important. If you got it midterm and then completely lost your way the rest of the semester, then you're going to be stuck with the 28. But vice versa, higher on the midterm than higher on the final than the midterm, I will replace these. Okay. Guys, typical week. What's it going to look like? You're going to have 2 to 3 hours of videos, lectures, posted on Blackboard by Monday at noon. Guys, you will not pass a class if you don't allow me to teach you. Simple as that. Had a student last semester, she just would not watch the videos. She failed. She would go to the math lab. She would get the math lab workers pretty much to do the assignments for her. And she got to the finals, and in the midterm, she bombed both of them. Guys, you got to watch the videos. It's only 2 to 3 hours. You're going to spend that much time face-to-face in a face-to-face class. This way, with the videos posted to YouTube, accessible to you 24 hours a day, you can watch them whenever you want to watch them. You can watch them 15 minutes at a time, 30 minutes at a time. but you must watch the videos to be successful in this class. Number 2, kind of a sub-bullet, I will embed sneaky quizzes in the videos from time to time. Sneaky quizzes, regardless what is stated in the videos, will be accepted up to the due date for the corresponding assignment. Now, some of these sneaky quizzes, it will say, I will only accept the first 5 students. That's not the case. I will accept the quiz up to when the assignment for that for that material is due. For example, on Monday, January the 9th, the videos will be accessible to you by noon. That assignment is due 8 days later on Tuesday, January the 17th at 11 p.m. The videos that are provided that week to prepare you for this assignment may include these sneaky quizzes. You've got up until Tuesday at 11 p.m. to email me with the answer to the sneaky quiz. I'll tell you what I did one time. One time, about 3/4 of the way through one of the videos, I broke out into some AC/DC. Not me singing it, trust me, that would scare everybody, and everybody would drop my class. But I started playing it just randomly, AC/DC. Highway to Hell or Highway to, I even forget what the name of the song is. And I said, I'll tell you what, email me. I think I said the first 5 people, but again, that doesn't apply. As long as I got an email by 11 p.m. on that Tuesday, when the assignment was due for the corresponding material presented in this video, you got 25 out of 25. No, actually, I think it's 20 out of 20. If you don't submit it, you get 0 out of 20. It is a quiz. It's what I call an attendance quiz. Now, something that irritates me is students they don't watch the videos, and then they'll go on my math lab and they'll see that there's a grade for quiz number 1. And they'll go back and they're like, well, I don't know how I missed it. Well, you missed it because you didn't watch the video. You didn't watch it completely. And they'll say, well, show me where it is. I'm not going to go back through my videos and tell you that video number 2 of this particular week, it was at the 35-minute and 42-second mark. That's your responsibility. If you miss it, you miss it. You get 0 out of 20. But that's your responsibility. So I do this kind of to have some fun. Some of these quizzes are kind of sneaky and they're kind of fun, and they again reward you for being persistent and watching the videos completely. The next bullet, the assignments pertaining to the material that's taught in the videos is due the following Tuesday, approximately 8 days later. I just illustrated that down here. Again, the first week we start classes January the 9th. Your videos for that week are already posted. I'll show you those in just a second. Watch the videos. You have approximately 8 days to watch them and get the assignment that is due on January the 17th. Okay? So I want to bring my phone out and I want to show you, I think you might get a better indication if I show you a calendar here. All right. So, classes start January 9th. Videos are posted. And again, I'll show you how to get those in just a second. You have, again, they're posted by noon. So you have the rest of the day on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Tuesday at 11 p.m., that assignment on this content is due. Guys, it's my opinion, if you can't watch 2.5, 3 hours of videos and get an assignment, which is going to take you about 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours to submit. If you can't do that in 8 days, well, whatever. Okay. So you have 8 days to do that. So assignments are due at 11 p.m. Our assignments are due on Wednesdays at 11 p.m. You can just about expect an R assignment every 4 weeks. So I would say the first R assignment will be due probably on Wednesday, February the 8th at 11 p.m. The second R assignment will probably be due somewhere around March 22nd or March 29th. The third R assignment will be due probably around Wednesday, April the 19th. And the final R assignment will be due probably around, I don't know, I'll probably give you some extra time here, maybe even Friday on this one, May the 5th. Yeah, I'll give you some extra time. But these things will be posted, a couple of weeks ahead of time. So you'll have plenty of time to do these things and submit them on time. All right, gang, here's my math lab assignments. Here's the topics. You can see that every single Tuesday at 11 p.m. you've got assignments due. Now, week 7, it changes a little bit. Your midterm exam study guide is due Wednesday, March 1st at 7 p.m. You take your exam from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Let me go back. I want to make sure that is completely clear. Your midterm exam will be Wednesday, March 1st from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Your midterm will probably take about an hour, so you can start any time after 4, but you must be done by 7. So somewhere between 4 and 7, you need to allow about an hour, maybe 90 minutes. If you're a slow test taker, you might want to allow 2 hours. You know you better than me. I was always a slow test taker, so I would probably get there at 4 and make sure I had the whole 3 hours. But for most of you, it's going to take somewhere between an hour and 90 minutes. So it's kind of a drop-in window for you to take your exam. So because of that, the midterm study guide is due at 7 on Wednesday, which is when the time slot to take your exam actually closes. So you have an extra day to submit the final exam study guide and the midterm study guide. All right, gang, down at the bottom, important note number 1, a 50% penalty will be assessed for work that is submitted after the due date and time. The penalty applies only to questions that are submitted late. Here's an example. Been a lot of confusion about this over the semesters, different years, so I want to provide an example. Let's say you're working on your assignment and you get 7 of your 10 questions done. This particular assignment that I'm talking about has 10 questions, so you currently have a score of 70%. You're getting ready to start the 8th question. Your buddy sticks his head in the door and says, "Hey, we're headed to B-Dubs. Go and get some wings, have a couple beers. Why don't you go with us?" And you're like, "Wow, that just sounds too good to pass down." So you submit your assignment, only having done 7 of 10 questions. Next day, you start feeling guilty, and you're like, "Daggone it, I wish I'd submitted those other 3 questions." You can. You can submit these up to the midterm exam. And these questions here, you can submit up to the final exam. Now, once all these assignments up through here, actually, I'm on the wrong page, aren't I? All these assignments up here, they cannot be submitted after Wednesday, March the 1st at 7 p.m. Heck, we're going to be on to other stuff by then. I want you to forget this stuff because it's behind you. But you can submit the questions that you didn't submit on time. You can submit those anytime up to the exam that covers that material, either the midterm or the final. Now, you start feeling guilty a few days later, and you're like, "Gosh, I wish I had submitted those other 3 questions." Well, you can. Let's say you can submit them and you get them all correct, so you have full 30% on that divided by 2, so you only get 15%. So the 70% you got for being on time, the 30% you got for being late is deducted 50%, so you would end up with an 85% on that assignment. The late assignment, or the late submissions, only applies to the questions that you submit late. It doesn't go back and sort of retroactively take 50% off of the work you've already completed. Guys, tentative schedule. What I want you to do is I want you to send an email to me By watching this, I'm going to find out who's watched this video completely. I want you to send an email to this and say, Dr. Darbro, Doug, triple D, D cubed, call me all sorts of things again, anything but Mr. Darbro. I've watched your video. I understand that there's, I understand. I'll tell you what, if you just tell me you've watched the video, I'll be okay with that. All right, gang, I guess that's it. Don't hesitate to call me, to email, stop by my office if there's any confusion whatsoever. Typically, it's not the confusion that creates problems. It's the people that run and hide. The people that think, well, there's no accountability other than to myself. I just won't get these assignments turned in on time. And then you come up for the assignment or for the midterm and you're not ready. It's typically the people that run and hide where the problems actually lie in the online course. So, guys, I'm done. Look forward to working with you to get statistics behind you. Take care.